How to bulk / gain weight when dealing with IBS and gut health issues. Okay. I want to introduce you to James and Edward. Okay. James and Edward both have the same goals. They want to add some lean mass. Okay. They have the same calories, same protein, same workout, same sleep, same intensity, same supplements. Everything is the same. Okay. But you can clearly see in this scenario that James has made significantly less progress than Edward has. And on the surface, it's difficult to understand why, because, well, they're doing the same stuff. But the one major thing that differentiates the two is gut health, right? James has struggled with IBS for years, always gets bloating and pain and doesn't like bulking because it's uncomfortable. And, he's never had a good experience with it. And Edward, he just gets on with it fine because he has strong, healthy gut health. Okay. Now, I used to be James. This is me, okay? I used to do all the good things of, TikTok says eat a pound per body weight protein. Okay, I'm going to eat some more calories and track it on my fitness pal. But I wasn't really making the progress that I thought I should be. And I was the guy with poor gut health. I had bloating and pain and abdominals. And I've talked about all this on my other videos, so you can kind of go into that. The brain fog, the nutrient deficiencies. And I didn't really make progress in the gym, right? And it wasn't until I fixed my gut health when I actually made a significant shift. Now, I'm no bodybuilder. I'm no gym expert. If that's what you want, then obviously you can go somewhere else. But we just want to have a healthy physique. If you're anything like me, you're not looking to be the next Mr. Olympia. You just want to fit in a t-shirt nice. You just want to maybe be confident in your body. That's all you want. You just want a good physique. And that's kind of what I've been able to obtain. And the only reason I was able to do that is because I worked on my gut health. And I was able to do that. Now, you might be thinking, well, how does the gut health have anything to do with muscles? Well, we're going to go into that. So chill out. And you're going to see how important your gut health is to your physique and building muscle and being healthy, okay? Gut health, as I always say, is the cornerstone of health. And now we're just kind of showing how important it is in the gym world, in the muscle world, in the weight gain world, okay? It has effects on everything in your life, but we're just going to talk specifically about the gym, okay? So first of all, gut health is a very specific term. Gut health in itself doesn't really mean anything. Gut health, there's a loads of different pillars of what gut health is. Gut health is your stomach, like your physical stomach, the acid, the enzymes. It is your microbiome, the bacteria, the bugs. It's the gut lining, right? It's all those things combined, which makes up gut health, right? And I want to explain to you how issues with your gut health can affect your ability to gain muscle, okay? Now, this one is pretty simple, okay? And by the way, if you're dealing with IBS or gut health issues, you're going to have something wrong with one of these pillars, right? If you're not familiar with my approach of gut health, I have these main pillars of gut health. I don't know if I have it here. So as I say, gut health is a blanket statement term, and what it really means is a combination of all these main pillars and factors. Now, if you're not new to my philosophy, I basically say if there's something wrong with one of these pillars, then your gut health could go wrong, okay? And we're going to talk about these and specifically how it relates to the gym, assuming that your diet and nutrition is fine because you're doing the right things, right? So something that's really important is your stomach acid and enzymes, okay? Because we are told to eat protein and the protein makes muscle, but we don't understand the full process, okay? The protein needs to be broken down by the stomach acid and enzymes. Then it's absorbed in the small intestine, all right? The amino acids enter the blood, and that can trigger what we call muscle protein synthesis. But when we have stomach acid insufficiency or enzyme insufficiency, we're not breaking this protein down. So 150 grams or whatever amount of protein you're having is very important, but how much are you actually breaking down? And if you have poor gut health, you're not breaking down the protein very well, okay? And this can be linked to stomach acid and enzymes, okay? Your stomach acid should be very acidic. It should be, there should be enough of it. So a lot of people have insufficient stomach acid or it's too neutralized. So it's not a pH of 1 to 3. And that in itself can cause issues. So again, the surface value, you're eating the protein, you think you're doing good for the gym, but how much are you actually turning into amino acids and then absorbing and then actually going to protein synthesis? So this goes to one of the pillars of gut health. We need to make sure the stomach acid is good. We need to make sure the enzyme is good. And a way to know this if you are having issues with stomach acid is bloating. Getting bloating straight after eating is a big sign that your stomach acid enzymes are not doing a good job. They're not breaking down the food. They're sitting and fermenting, okay? So that's a big thing that we need to work on. Again, if you've got gut issues like dysbiosis or SIBO, Okay. This is essentially, dysbiosis is an imbalance of gut bacteria. This is the gut microbiome. Okay. If there's any issues there, that can cause a lot of inflammation. Okay. And that can just wipe out your entire recovery. Okay. If you have inflammation, especially low grade inflammation, this is going to use up the recovery resources that we need for muscle building. Okay. It creates systemic stress. More inflammation equals worse recovery, worse gains. Okay. Again, the microbiome is very important when it comes to fermenting foods. Okay. And also, it's very common when people have dysbiosis to have nutrient deficiencies. Again, if you have nutrient deficiencies, harder to build muscle, right? Harder for energy, recovery, strength. You can see how this is all tying in together, especially SIBO. Now, SIBO is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. And the small intestine is kind of the hub for nutrient absorption. And if you're not, absorbing nutrients very well, how the hell are you going to build muscle? Okay. So SIBO is actually a gut condition because a lot of the microbiome and the bacteria should be in the large intestine. But when it gets in the small intestine, that's a problem. Okay. And a lot of the time, this bacteria in the small intestine can rob your nutrients. Again, pushing further this idea of malabsorption. So again, you're eating all the right foods, but if you have SIBO, that's a gut issue. It's going to rob your nutrients and it's not going towards the goals that you want, like muscle building. Okay. A lot of people have leaky gut. Leaky gut, if you don't know, is an increased permeability in the cells in your gut lining. Okay. Especially in the small intestine. Certain proteins will then go into the bloodstream that shouldn't. As I mentioned before, the amino acids need to enter the blood. However, if some proteins go into the blood that shouldn't, your body is going to freak out and go, what the hell is going on? It's going to, again, create systemic inflammation and going to cause a lot of issues, right? Hopefully you can start to see now, these gut issues are causing some issues for me. And leaky gut is huge, by the way. A lot of people are like, do I have leaky gut? Pretty much everyone does, at least on a mild basis these days. But essentially, that's going to create systemic inflammation in the body. That's going to affect your recovery. Again, it's going to affect your nutrient absorption. Your food isn't going to be doing what you expect it to be doing because it's now not absorbing properly in the small intestine. It's not going to go very well. Again, this can affect everything. This can affect your sleep, hormone balance, all very important to the gym, right? Your physique is just a reflection of your health, okay? And if you haven't got a good physique, then you probably haven't got good health, okay? And this is all going to impact training, intensity, recovery, growth, everything. The other thing that we have, which is another pillar of gut health, is obviously poor motility. Okay. If you're not going at least once a day and it's we call it the Bristol stool chart, maybe you can have a look at it and you can see where your kind of stool ranks between it. But we need it to be, I think, around 4, 3, 4. You can have a look at the graph and it will show you. But if you're having constipation, you're not going every single day, right? You're going to recirculate toxins, right? Essentially, stool is toxic. So you need to get out your body. Okay. And you need to be it's very important to have a good system when you're bulking, right? Bulking is essentially adding digestive stress, right? You're eating in a surplus. So if your body's already struggling and then you're adding on top of like a surplus of so many calories, it's not going to go very well for you, my friend, especially if you're then not going to the toilet every day and this is going to like build up and build up and build up. Your system needs to be efficient in order to bulk correctly. And this is the mistake I was making for years. I was making this for years because I didn't sort my gut health first. So the idea, basically, the question is how to bulk with IBS. Step one. Okay, I'm not going to bother typing. Step 1, fix these issues. Step 2, then you can bulk. Once you fix your gut health, then you should bulk. You should not bulk if you have gut issues, in my opinion, because it's going to be 1, a big distress on your system, 2, far less effective. If you're putting in the work to have all the calories and the protein, and you again have malabsorption and low stomach acid and leaky gut, which most people do, then it's kind of wasting your time because it's only going to be as 50% efficient as someone without gut issues. It's going to be far more efficient and they're actually getting a far higher ROI than you are because your gut is a mess. Okay. So if you have any of the common gut symptoms or you have IBS or bloating, stomach pains, abnormal stool, you need to get this correct before you want to bulk. Okay. You need to have an effective gut if you want to bulk, in my opinion, because I've wasted so much time bulking throughout the years and it didn't work because I had gut issues. So improve your gut. And if you need any support with how to find out exactly what's going wrong with you or how to actually fix stomach acid and SIBO and leaky gut, I've made a bunch of videos about this already. And you can also book a free discovery call where I can help you directly. Okay. I coach people. I've done this for many people. I've got some great testimonials on my Instagram story, which I'll leave down below if you want to check that out. But essentially, you book that discovery call. It's free. We can see if you're a good fit for coaching, and I can help you exactly do this, just like I did for myself. I can fix your gut issues, okay, just like I did for myself, making bulking far, far easier, okay? And that's all we're going to cover in today's video. If you have any other questions about gut health, let me know. But just know, fix your gut issues before you try to bulk. If someone would have told me this, like, I don't know, like 4 years ago, 3 years ago, would have made the process a whole lot easier. Whole lot easier, okay? Any other questions? Leave them down below. Again, this goes so in depth as well. Like even if your nervous system is out of balance, it's going to affect your stomach acid. This goes very deep. I just wanted to keep it on a very basic level, just so you understood how gut issues can affect the way that you bulk. But you can start to see nutrient absorption and inflammation and breaking down the proper proteins into amino acids. This all comes tying in together, and hopefully it's clicking in your brain like, oh, I never thought of it like that. But as I say, if you're bloating, you're not absorbing your food very well. And then how the hell are you going to bulk? How the hell are you going to gain weight and effective muscle? Okay. Right, we're going to leave it there. Any other questions, leave them down below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.